close your eyes for a moment and let yourself slow down. This is not a video about forcing happiness or telling you to be more social. It is a calm look at something many people feel but do not know how to explain. Loneliness. Loneliness does not always mean being alone. Many people feel lonely even when they talk to others, work with others, or spend time in groups. This can feel confusing and painful. You may ask yourself why the feeling stays even when you are not alone. This video is not here to judge you or fix you. Feeling lonely does not mean something is wrong with you. It often means something important is missing. That missing thing is not always people. Sometimes it is understanding. Sometimes it is safety. Sometimes it is the freedom to be yourself without pretending. As the world gets louder and faster, loneliness becomes quieter and harder to notice. People stay busy. They scroll. They talk. They smile. But inside, many feel unseen. This video is a slow space to understand why that happens. You do not need to rush. You do not need to agree with everything. Just listen and let the ideas settle. Loneliness is not a weakness. It is a signal. And signals are meant to be understood, not ignored. Most people think loneliness comes from not having enough friends. This is not always true. Many lonely people have friends, coworkers, classmates, or family around them. The problem is not the number of people. The problem is the quality of connection. Connection is not about talking. It is about being understood. You can talk all day and still feel lonely if you do not feel safe being real. When you hide parts of yourself to fit in, loneliness grows. You are present but not seen. One reason this happens is pressure. Many people feel pressure to act a certain way, to be calm, to be funny, to be confident, to not be too much. This pressure creates a mask. The mask helps you survive socially, but it blocks real connection. People see the mask, not you. Over time, this feels empty. Another reason is fear of judgment. People are afraid that if they show their true thoughts or feelings, they will be rejected. So they stay surface level. Small talk, safe topics, polite answers. This feels fine at first, but over time it creates distance. You feel close physically, but far emotionally. Loneliness also comes from not being listened to. Many conversations today move fast. People wait to speak instead of listening. When you share something and feel rushed or ignored, your mind learns a quiet lesson. What I say does not matter. When this happens often, loneliness deepens. Another cause of loneliness is comparison. People compare their inside feelings to other people's outside lives. They see smiles, photos, success, and confidence. They do not see fear, doubt, or sadness. This creates a false story. Everyone else is connected. I am not. That story hurts, even when it is not true. Technology also plays a role. Messages and likes feel like connection, but they are not the same as being present with someone. Digital contact is quick and shallow. It fills time, but it does not always fill the emotional need for understanding. After scrolling or chatting online, people often feel more empty, not less. Loneliness can also come from change. Growing up, moving, changing jobs, losing old routines. When life changes, old connections fade. New ones take time to form. During this space, loneliness grows. This does not mean you failed. It means you are between chapters. Some people feel lonely because they are kind and deep, but surrounded by shallow talk. They want meaning, but rarely find space for it. This mismatch creates isolation, even in groups. They feel different, not wrong, but different. Loneliness can also come from not knowing yourself well. When you are unsure of what you feel or want, it is hard to share with others. Connection starts with self-understanding. Without it, conversations stay unclear and distant. Many people try to fix loneliness by being louder, more social, or more busy. This often makes it worse. Loneliness is not cured by noise. It is eased by honesty, safety, and slow connection. The important thing to understand is this. Loneliness is not telling you to talk more. It is telling you to connect better. And connection begins with feeling safe enough to be real, even in small ways. In the next part, we will talk about the most common mistake people make when they feel lonely, and why trying harder often pushes connection further away. You are not broken. You are listening to a signal. When people feel lonely, their first instinct is to try harder. They talk more. They message more. They show up more. They try to be fun, helpful, or interesting. This feels like the right move, but many times it makes loneliness worse. That is because effort without safety creates pressure. Pressure pushes people away, even when your intention is good. Trying harder often comes from fear. Fear of being forgotten. Fear of being left out. Fear of not matching. When fear leads, behavior changes. People talk too fast. They explain too much. They agree with things they do not feel. They hide discomfort behind smiles. Others may not know why, but they feel tension. Tension blocks closeness. Another problem with trying harder is that it turns connection into a goal. When connection becomes a goal, people stop being present. They watch reactions closely. They look for signs. Did they laugh? Did they reply? Did they like me? This turns every moment into a test. Tests are stressful. Friendship cannot grow under constant testing. Loneliness also grows when people give too much too soon. Oversharing, constant texting, or always being available can feel heavy to others. This does not mean caring is wrong. It means balance matters. Healthy connection grows slowly. When things move too fast, people pull back to protect space. Many people believe that if they just find the right words, loneliness will disappear. But loneliness is not a language problem. It is a safety problem. People open up when they feel safe, not when they are impressed. Safety comes from calm presence, not performance. Trying harder can also create resentment. When you give a lot and do not feel it returned, you feel unseen. This makes loneliness sharper. Giving should come from choice, not from fear of losing connection. When giving is used to keep people close, it becomes heavy. Another issue is that trying harder often ignores the real need. The need is not more interaction. It is deeper connection. You can be busy all day with people and still feel lonely if nothing feels real. Without honesty, interaction becomes noise. People also try harder by copying others. They act the way they think they should act. This creates distance from the self. When you move away from yourself, others cannot connect with you. Real connection requires presence, not imitation. Loneliness is eased when pressure is removed. When you stop needing a certain outcome. When you allow conversations to be simple. When you accept that not every moment will lead to closeness. Relaxed effort creates room for real connection. People who overcome loneliness do not force friendships. They create space for them. They show up calmly. They listen. They allow things to grow or fade without panic. This steadiness invites trust. It is also important to remember that loneliness does not disappear overnight. It softens slowly. Each real moment adds something. A genuine laugh. A quiet talk. A shared experience. These moments matter more than many shallow ones. If you feel lonely, do not blame yourself. Do not push harder. Slow down. Ask where you feel pressure. Pressure shows where safety is missing. When safety grows, loneliness shrinks. In the next part, we will talk about how to reduce loneliness by building safety with yourself first, before expecting it from others. You do not need to try harder. You need to feel safer. Loneliness becomes heavier when you are hard on yourself. Many people feel lonely and then judge themselves for it. They think something is wrong with them. This creates a second layer of pain. The first pain is loneliness. The second pain is shame. Shame makes loneliness feel deeper and more isolating. Being kind to yourself does not mean ignoring loneliness. It means meeting it without anger or blame. When you stop fighting the feeling, it becomes easier to understand. Loneliness often appears when you feel disconnected from yourself, not just from others. One reason loneliness grows is that people ignore their own needs. They stay busy to avoid quiet moments. But quiet moments reveal feelings that need care. When you avoid yourself, loneliness increases. When you sit with yourself calmly, the feeling softens. Self-kindness starts with listening to your own feelings. Ask simple questions. What do I feel right now? What do I need? You do not need perfect answers. The act of listening builds trust with yourself. Trust reduces loneliness. Another important step is letting go of harsh self-talk. When you tell yourself you are boring, awkward, or unwanted, your mind believes it. This belief shapes how you act around others. People sense this tension. Self-kindness removes that tension. Spending time alone does not have to increase loneliness. Alone time becomes harmful only when it is filled with self-judgment. When alone time is calm and caring, it builds comfort. Comfort with yourself makes it easier to connect with others later. Another helpful practice is doing things you enjoy alone. Reading, walking, listening to music, creating. These activities build a sense of fullness. When you feel full inside, you do not reach for people to fill emptiness. You connect from choice, not need. Loneliness also fades when you accept yourself as you are. You do not need to be more social, louder, or different. Accepting yourself reduces inner conflict. Less inner conflict means more calm presence. Calm presence attracts connection. People often expect others to provide all comfort. This creates pressure. No one can meet every need. When you care for yourself, relationships feel lighter and healthier. You do not need others to fix loneliness. You allow them to share connection. Another important part of self-kindness is patience. Loneliness does not disappear instantly. Healing takes time. Expecting quick change creates frustration. Patience allows small improvements to matter. As 2026 continues, many people will feel lonely and try to hide it. Hiding increases isolation. Being honest with yourself reduces it. You do not need to announce your feelings to everyone. Just stop hiding them from yourself. Self-kindness also means seeking support when needed. Talking to someone you trust. Writing feelings down. Allowing yourself to ask for help. These actions are not weakness. They are care. When you treat yourself with kindness, loneliness changes shape. It becomes quieter, less sharp, easier to carry. From that calmer place, real connection becomes possible. Many people want connection but fear opening up. They worry that sharing feelings will make them look weak, needy, or strange. Because of this fear, they stay quiet or keep things light. This protects them from judgment, but it also keeps loneliness alive. Opening up does not have to be deep or risky. It can be small and safe. Opening up means letting others see a little more of who you are. You do not need to share your deepest thoughts right away. Start with small truths. How your day felt, what you enjoyed, what tired you. These small shares invite connection without pressure. Safety matters. Not everyone is safe to open up to. Pay attention to how people react when you speak. Do they listen? Do they rush to judge or fix? Do they respect your words? Choose people who respond with calm and care. Opening up to the wrong person can increase loneliness. Another way to open up safely is to speak in simple language. You do not need to explain everything. You can say, "I've been feeling a bit tired lately," or "I've had a lot on my mind." Simple honesty creates space without overwhelm. It is also okay to open up slowly. Share a little. See how it feels. If the response is kind, you can share more later. If it feels uncomfortable, you can pause. You are in control. Opening up should not feel like jumping off a cliff. It should feel like stepping into shallow water. Many people think opening up means talking a lot. It does not. Sometimes one sentence is enough. The goal is not to unload. The goal is to connect. Connection grows through mutual understanding, not long explanations. Another fear people have is being a burden. They think their feelings will bother others. Most people are not bothered by honest sharing. They feel honored when someone trusts them. But balance matters. Opening up should go both ways. Listen as much as you share. It is also important to accept that not everyone will respond the way you hope. Some people are uncomfortable with feelings. This does not mean you did something wrong. It means they are not ready. Do not let one response close you off completely. Opening up becomes easier when you accept that vulnerability is not weakness. It is courage. It shows self-respect. You are saying, "My feelings matter." When you respect your feelings, others are more likely to do the same. Loneliness fades when people see the real you, even in small ways. You do not need full understanding from everyone. One or two safe connections are enough to feel less alone. As you practice opening up, trust grows. Trust makes sharing easier. Sharing builds closeness. Closeness reduces loneliness. Not everyone is meant to be close to you. This can feel sad, but it is also freeing. Loneliness becomes heavier when you try to connect deeply with people who are not safe for you. Safety does not mean perfection. It means you feel respected, heard, and accepted most of the time. Safe people make you feel calm, not tense. When you talk to them, you do not feel the need to perform or hide. You can speak slowly. You can pause. You can be honest in small ways. After talking to them, you usually feel lighter, not drained. This feeling matters more than how long you talked. One way to find safe people is to notice how they react to small honesty. Share something simple like being tired or unsure. Watch their response. Do they listen without judging? Do they rush to fix or dismiss? Do they stay present? These reactions show whether a person can handle deeper connection later. Another sign of safety is respect for boundaries. Safe people do not push you to share more than you want. They do not make fun of your feelings. They do not guilt you for needing space. They allow you to move at your own pace. This respect builds trust. Not everyone is meant to be close to you. This can feel sad, but it is also freeing. Loneliness becomes heavier when you try to connect deeply with people who are not safe for you. Safety does not mean perfection. It means you feel respected, heard, and accepted most of the time. Safe people make you feel calm, not tense. When you talk to them, you do not feel the need to perform or hide. You can speak slowly. You can pause. You can be honest in small ways. After talking to them, you usually feel lighter, not drained. This feeling matters more than how long you talked. One way to find safe people is to notice how they react to small honesty. Share something simple like being tired or unsure. Watch their response. Do they listen without judging? Do they rush to fix or dismiss? Do they stay present? These reactions show whether a person can handle deeper connection later. Another sign of safety is respect for boundaries. Safe people do not push you to share more than you want. They do not make fun of your feelings. They do not guilt you for needing space. They allow you to move at your own pace. This respect builds trust. Safe people are also consistent. They do not change behavior suddenly without reason. You know what to expect from them. This predictability helps your nervous system relax. When your body feels safe, loneliness softens. Many people think safe connections are rare. They are not rare, but they are quiet. Loud people get attention. Calm people build trust. Look for kindness, patience, and steadiness. These traits matter more than charm. You can find safe people in many places: work, school, shared activities, or quiet communities. Safety grows faster when there is shared time and shared values. You do not need many safe people. One or two are enough to feel less alone. It is also important to become a safe person yourself. Safety goes both ways. When you listen, respect boundaries, and stay calm, others feel safer around you. This attracts the kind of connections you want. Some people feel lonely because they keep choosing unsafe connections. They confuse intensity with closeness. Intensity feels strong at first, but it often brings drama and stress. Safety feels calm and slow, but it lasts longer. Another mistake is ignoring early discomfort. If someone makes you feel small, rushed, or uneasy early on, pay attention. Do not force closeness. Distance can be healthy. Trust your feelings without overthinking. Finding safe people takes time. You may meet many before finding one who fits. This is normal. Do not rush the process. Let trust build naturally. As 2026 continues, many people will chase attention instead of safety. Attention feels exciting but fades quickly. Safety feels quiet but steady. Choose steady. Loneliness decreases when you spend more time with people who accept you as you are. You do not need approval from everyone. You need understanding from a few. Loneliness does not always disappear forever. Even people with friends can feel lonely again. This does not mean something is broken. It means loneliness needs care, not a one-time fix. The goal is not to remove loneliness completely. The goal is to understand it and respond early, before it grows heavy. Loneliness often returns when life changes. Busy weeks, stress, new routines, less time to talk. When connection drops, the feeling can return quietly. Many people panic when this happens. They think they are back at the beginning. They are not. This is just a signal asking for attention. One way to keep loneliness from growing is to notice it early. Pay attention to small signs. Feeling distant, feeling unseen, wanting to hide. These signs are not warnings. They are reminders. They remind you to reconnect, not to judge yourself. Another important habit is staying honest with yourself. Ask simple questions. Am I avoiding people? Am I avoiding myself? Loneliness grows when avoidance grows. Gentle honesty helps you choose small actions before the feeling becomes strong. Keeping simple routines also helps. Small routines create stability. A regular walk, a weekly call, a shared activity. These routines give connection a place in your life. When connection has a place, it is less likely to fade. It also helps to protect your energy. When you are tired, lonely feelings feel bigger. Rest matters. Sleep matters. Quiet time matters. Loneliness often feels worse when your body is drained. Caring for your body supports your mind. Another reason loneliness returns is overgiving. Some people give too much to others and forget themselves. They say yes when they need rest. They listen but never share. This creates imbalance. Balance keeps connection healthy. You matter too. It is also important to keep realistic expectations. Friends will not always be available. Conversations will not always be deep. This is normal. Expecting constant closeness creates disappointment. Accepting natural ups and downs keeps loneliness softer. Many people try to fill loneliness with noise, endless scrolling, constant videos, background sound. This numbs the feeling for a moment, but it often returns stronger. Quiet connection works better than loud distraction. Another helpful practice is staying curious. Loneliness often narrows focus. Curiosity opens it. Notice people around you. Notice small moments of warmth. These moments remind you that connection exists, even in simple forms. Loneliness also fades when you stay connected to purpose. Doing things that matter to you builds inner strength. When you feel meaningful, loneliness has less space to grow. Purpose does not replace people, but it supports emotional balance. It is okay to ask for connection. Many people wait for others to reach out. Asking is not weakness. It is honesty. A simple message can reopen connection. You do not need long talks every time. Some days will still feel lonely. This is part of being human. The difference is how you respond. When you respond with care instead of fear, loneliness passes more easily. As time goes on, you will learn your patterns. You will know what helps and what hurts. This knowledge builds confidence. Confidence reduces loneliness because you trust yourself to handle it. Loneliness does not mean you are alone in life. It means you need a moment of care. When you listen to that need early, the feeling does not need to shout. At the end of all this, there is one simple idea to remember. Loneliness is not an enemy. It is a message. It shows up when something inside you needs care, honesty, or connection. When you treat loneliness as a problem to fight, it grows louder. When you treat it as a signal to listen to, it softens. Many people believe connection must be constant to be real. They think they should always feel close, always feel understood, always feel supported. This belief creates pressure. Real connection moves in waves. Sometimes it feels strong. Sometimes it feels quiet. Both are normal. You do not need to feel connected every day to live a connected life. You need to know how to return to connection when it fades. That return does not require force. It requires awareness and small actions. Connection begins with how you treat yourself. When you respect your feelings, you create inner safety. Inner safety makes outer connection easier. You stop reaching from fear. You start reaching from choice. This changes everything. Living with connection means allowing relationships to breathe, giving space without disappearing, showing care without control, being present without pressure. These balances take time to learn. You do not need to master them. You only need to notice when things feel off and adjust gently. Friendships, like people, are imperfect. There will be misunderstandings, quiet periods, distance. None of this means failure. It means life is moving. When you stay calm, most connections heal on their own. It is also important to accept that loneliness may visit again. Even in good lives, it appears. This does not erase your progress. It reminds you to slow down, reconnect, or rest. When you stop fearing loneliness, it loses power. You do not need many people to feel connected. A few honest connections are enough. Sometimes even one is enough. Depth matters more than number. Safety matters more than popularity. Connection also includes being okay alone sometimes. Solitude is not the same as loneliness. Solitude can be peaceful. Loneliness feels heavy. Learning the difference helps you choose what you need instead of reacting out of fear. As you move forward, remember this. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are learning a human skill that many people never slow down enough to learn. Connection grows quietly. It does not announce itself. It builds through small moments of honesty, care, and presence. These moments matter more than you think. Connection does not only happen in big talks or deep moments. Most connection grows in small, daily actions. Many people wait for the right time to feel close to others. But closeness is built through simple habits done often. When you practice these habits, connection becomes part of life instead of something you chase. One daily practice is presence. Presence means giving your attention fully, even for a short time. When someone talks to you, put distractions aside if you can. Look at them. Listen to their words. You do not need to say much. Being present makes people feel valued. Feeling valued reduces loneliness for both sides. Another practice is small honesty. You do not need to share deep feelings every day. Simple honesty is enough. Saying you are tired. Saying you enjoyed something. Saying you are unsure. These small truths invite real connection without pressure. They also help you stay connected to yourself. Kindness in small moments matters. A gentle smile. Saying thank you. Remembering a detail someone shared. These actions seem small, but they build trust over time. Trust makes connection feel safe and steady. Consistency is another key. Connection fades when it is forgotten for long periods. You do not need constant contact. You need regular contact. A short message. A brief check-in. Showing up again. These actions keep relationships alive without effort. It also helps to make space for connection. Life gets busy. If connection has no space, loneliness grows quietly. Scheduling time to talk or meet can help. This does not make connection less real. Protects it. Another daily practice is listening without fixing. Many people try to help by giving advice. Advice is not always needed. Often, people want understanding. When you listen without fixing, you create emotional safety. Safety deepens connection. Learning to accept silence is also important. Silence does not mean failure. Sometimes it means comfort. Sitting quietly with someone builds trust. You do not need to fill every moment with words. Connection also grows when you respect boundaries. If someone needs space, allow it. If you need space, take it kindly. Respect keeps relationships healthy. Pressure weakens them. It is also helpful to stay curious. Ask simple questions. Notice changes. Curiosity shows care. Keeps connection fresh. Daily connection also includes connection with yourself. When you check in with your own feelings, you become more aware. Awareness helps you communicate better. You know what you need and what you can give. Some days you may still feel lonely. This does not mean these practices failed. Feelings change. What matters is that you respond with care instead of fear. Care keeps connection possible. As time goes on, these small practices add up. Connection feels more natural, less forced, more steady. Loneliness still visits, but it does not stay as long. Connection is not built in one moment. It is built in many small ones. Keep choosing presence. Keep choosing kindness. Keep choosing honesty. As connection grows, many people face a new problem. They worry about losing themselves. They say yes too often. They hide needs. They stay quiet to keep peace. Over time, this creates stress. Connection should not cost you your sense of self. Healthy connection includes both closeness and individuality. Losing yourself often happens when you fear disapproval. You may think that saying no will push people away, so you agree even when you feel tired or unsure. This may keep things smooth at first, but it creates tension inside. That tension slowly weakens connection. Staying connected without losing yourself starts with honesty. Small honesty, not harsh truth. Saying you need rest. Saying you are not up for something. Saying you need time. Honest boundaries build respect. Respect keeps relationships healthy. Many people believe boundaries create distance. The opposite is true. Boundaries create safety. When people know your limits, they trust you more. You become predictable and real. This makes connection stronger, not weaker. Another way people lose themselves is by trying to match others too closely. They copy interests, opinions, or moods to fit in. This creates closeness, but it is fragile. Real connection happens when differences are allowed. You do not need to be the same to be close. It is also important to keep your own life full. Interests, routines, and goals give you balance. When your life has meaning outside of relationships, connection feels lighter. You are not asking others to fill emptiness. You are sharing fullness. Some people feel guilty for needing alone time. They think wanting space means they do not care. This is not true. Space allows you to recharge. When you return, you show up with more presence. Alone time supports connection. Pay attention to how you feel after interactions. If you feel calm and grounded, the connection is healthy. If you feel drained or tense often, something needs adjustment. Adjustment does not mean ending the relationship. It means restoring balance. Another helpful habit is checking in with yourself regularly. Ask simple questions. Am I being honest? Am I respecting my limits? Am I acting from fear or choice? These questions guide healthy connection. It is also okay to change. You may grow quieter or more confident over time. Healthy relationships adapt. If a connection only works when you stay the same, it may not be supportive. As you practice staying true to yourself, some connections may change. Some may deepen. Some may fade. This is normal. Let changes happen without blame. Connection should feel like support, not control. It should give you room to breathe, not make you smaller. When you honor yourself, others learn how to treat you. As 2026 moves forward, many people will sacrifice themselves to avoid loneliness. Others will choose balance. Those who choose balance will build connections that last longer and feel lighter. You do not need to disappear to belong. You do not need to shrink to be loved. Connection should feel like support, not control. It should give you room to breathe, not make you smaller. When you honor yourself, others learn how to treat you. As 2026 moves forward, many people will sacrifice themselves to avoid loneliness. Others will choose balance. Those who choose balance will build connections that last longer and feel lighter. You do not need to disappear to belong. You do not need to shrink to be loved. At the end of this journey, one thing matters more than any advice. Connection is not something you chase. It is something you allow. When you stop forcing yourself to be different, louder, or better, you make space for real connection to grow. Most loneliness comes from pressure, not from lack of people. You have learned that loneliness is not a failure. It is a signal that asks for honesty, care, and patience. When you listen to that signal instead of running from it, you begin to change your relationship with yourself and others. Connection does not come all at once. It grows slowly, through small moments that feel simple and ordinary. Calm conversation, a shared silence, kind check-in. These moments may not feel special when they happen, but they matter more than big talks or fast bonds. You do not need many people to feel connected. A few safe connections are enough. Sometimes even one is enough. Depth matters more than number. Safety matters more than excitement. Calm matters more than effort. As you move forward, remember that loneliness may still visit. This does not erase your growth. It does not mean you are back where you started. It simply means you are human. The difference now is that you know how to respond. You know how to slow down. You know how to listen. You know how to care. Connection also includes your relationship with yourself. When you treat yourself with kindness, you feel less alone inside. That inner steadiness makes outer connection easier. You stop reaching from fear. You start reaching from choice. Do not rush closeness. Do not force friendships. Let people meet you where you are. Let connections grow at their own pace. What is meant to stay will stay. What fades was not meant to hold you forever. You are allowed to take space. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to protect your energy. Healthy connection does not ask you to disappear. It asks you to show up honestly. As time goes on, connection will feel less confusing. You will trust yourself more. You will notice earlier when something feels off. You will adjust gently instead of panicking. This is quiet strength. There is no final version of connection. Life changes. People change. You will keep learning. That is not a problem. That is how connection stays alive. If loneliness appears again, do not judge it. Sit with it. Ask what it needs. Often it just needs presence. Sometimes it needs rest. Sometimes it needs honesty. Sometimes it needs a small reach toward someone safe. You are not late. You are not broken. You are learning something deeply human. Let this end quietly. No pressure to act. No rule to follow. Just remember this feeling of calm understanding. Return to it when loneliness feels heavy. When connection feels distant. When pressure tells you to try harder. You do not need to try harder. You need to stay honest and gentle. Connection grows when you do. This is not the end. It is simply a calmer way to continue. When you accept this, rejection hurts less. Distance feels normal. You stop seeing every interaction as a test. You allow friendships to form naturally, at their own pace. Confidence in friendship does not come from being liked by many people. It comes from knowing you can be yourself and still be okay. When you trust yourself, you stop trying to perform. When you stop performing, people feel safer around you. Another important part is balance. Friendship should not replace your whole life. You need time alone. You need interests. You need rest. When your life is balanced, friendships feel lighter. You show up because you want to, not because you need validation. Being calm around people does not mean being distant. It means being grounded. You listen. You speak honestly. You respect space. You allow closeness to grow naturally. This calm presence is rare, and people notice it. Over time, you will build friendships that feel easy. Not perfect, but honest. Not constant, but real. You will also lose some friendships along the way. This is part of life. Let go without bitterness. Appreciate what was shared. Move forward with respect. As you go into the future, remember this. You do not need to become louder, funnier, or more impressive to make friends. You need to be present. You need to be kind. You need to be patient. Friendship is not something you win. It is something you grow. Let this sit with you. There is nothing to rush. No rule to memorize. No personality to change. Just notice how you listen. Notice how you show up. Notice how pressure fades when you stay calm. Return to this when you feel unsure. When loneliness feels heavy. When connection feels confusing. Judge by whether you are open and kind. New places give new chances. They allow you to be seen fresh without old labels. Use that chance gently. Be yourself. Be calm. Be consistent. Once a friendship begins, many people are unsure what to do next. They worry about saying the wrong thing or getting too close too fast. Some people overshare early. Others stay distant for too long. Both can slow down connection. Deeper friendships grow through balance, not force. Depth comes from time and shared moments, not from one deep talk. Many people think closeness comes from telling personal stories quickly. Sometimes this works, but often it feels heavy. Real closeness grows slowly. It builds as people see each other again and again in different moods and moments. Trust is the base of deep friendship. Trust forms when behavior is steady, when you are kind today and kind tomorrow, when your words match your actions, when people know how you will treat them. This predictability makes people feel safe opening up. One way to build depth is through shared experiences. Doing things together creates bonds without needing many words. Walking, studying, working, or helping with something builds connection naturally. Shared time allows people to relax and be themselves. Another important part is emotional honesty at the right pace. You do not need to hide everything, but you do not need to share everything either. Share small truths first. How you feel about simple things. What matters to you day to day. When these are received with care, deeper sharing becomes easier later. Listening becomes even more important as friendships grow. When someone trusts you with something personal, how you respond matters. Do not rush to fix. Do not judge. Do not compare. Simple understanding is enough. Feeling accepted builds closeness faster than advice. People also build deeper friendships by showing care during small moments. Remembering something they mentioned. Checking in when they seem quiet. Being there without being asked. These actions show attention. Attention builds depth. Another key is allowing space. Deep friendships do not mean constant contact. People need time for themselves. Respecting space keeps relationships healthy. When people know they can step back without losing connection, trust grows. Many people fear conflict will break friendship. Small conflicts are normal. What matters is how they are handled. Calm talk, honest feelings, and respect can strengthen bonds. Avoiding all conflict creates distance. Healthy disagreement builds understanding. It is also important to let friendships change. Some become closer. Some stay light. Some drift. This is normal. Do not force depth where it does not fit. Mutual comfort matters more than intensity. As friendships deepen, be careful not to lose yourself. You do not need to agree on everything. You do not need to match every feeling. Strong friendships allow difference. Respect keeps connection strong. Another mistake people make is relying on one friend for everything. This creates pressure. Healthy friendships exist within a full life. Having balance protects closeness. As time goes on, deeper friendships feel easy. Conversation flows. Silence feels comfortable. Effort feels shared. This does not happen overnight. It happens through patience. Not every friendship is meant to last forever. This can be hard to accept. Many people hold on to connections long after they stop feeling healthy. They stay out of habit, fear, or guilt. Letting go feels like failure, but often it is a sign of growth. Friendships change as people change. Interests shift. Values grow. Schedules move in different directions. This is normal. When a friendship no longer feels safe, kind, or respectful, it is okay to question it. You do not need a big reason to step back. Feeling drained is reason enough. One sign a friendship may need space is constant tension. If you feel nervous before talking, worried after sharing, or tired every time you interact, something is off. Friendship should not feel like a test. It should feel mostly calm, even during hard moments. Another sign is one-sided effort. If you are always reaching out, always adjusting, always giving, and nothing comes back, resentment builds. Friendship needs balance. It does not need to be equal every day, but over time, care should flow both ways. Some friendships are built on old versions of you. When you grow, the connection may no longer fit. This does not mean either person is wrong. It means the bond served its time. Holding on out of loyalty can stop both people from moving forward. Many people fear letting go because they do not want to hurt the other person. Kindness matters, but so does honesty with yourself. Staying in a draining friendship does not help anyone. Quiet distance is often kinder than forced closeness. Letting go does not always require a big talk. Sometimes it is enough to step back slowly. Less contact, fewer plans, more space. If the friendship is meant to continue, it will adjust. If not, it will fade naturally. If a conversation is needed, keep it simple and calm. You do not need to explain everything. You can speak about your feelings